Hello everyone, my name is LJ and this is A Journey East, and welcome back to Freelance Friday. Today's episode is super special. I'm really excited for it. I have an awesome special guest on the show today. Her name is Krystal Lynch. She is a designer, she's a dancer, she's a writer, and just an all-around entrepreneur. And I learned so much from our little chat, and I'm guessing that you guys will too. I do want to point out that she does have a free e-course available to designers, and I'm going to have it linked down below. She also has a book about positivity and affirmations that I definitely need to check out after talking with her. That will also be linked in the description box, and I'll leave a link to her website as well. She does really amazing work. I was so amazed by her website. It's just so beautiful. I just scrolled all day, and she's super sweet. So make sure to show her some love. Leave some questions in the comment box if you have any for her. I'll be passing along all the feedback to her, and I hope you enjoy this little interview. And I already recorded a little intro kind of going over your business and your website and everything, but if you want to start out by just telling us a little bit about yourself and about your business to start, that would be awesome.
Okay. Hi, I'm Krystal Lynch. I am the owner and founder of Krystal & Company. Actually, that is my actual business. But off of that, I have several different ventures that I'm exploring. The one I'm focusing on right now is Krystal & Company Design Studio, which is my web design and branding design business.
Cool. And then, so you do your business full-time, or are you working full-time as well?
I am doing it full-time right now.
So how did you actually make the decision to focus full-time on Krystal & Co?
Well, that's a really long story. Well, actually, I worked in nonprofit. So I worked in nonprofit for 10 years at a research university. And it was like straight out of grad school. And I was an English major, so I was just happy to get a job. And I ended up just being there for a long time and realizing that, I've always been very creative. I've always been someone who just loved being creative. I'm a dancer, I write, I do a lot of different things. So, after some time, I started to realize that, this really isn't what I want to do. I guess I always knew it wasn't what I wanted to do, and I was hoping that I would find something along the way. But, years just kind of went by. Mm-hmm. And as you get a little bit older, I'm in my late 30s, so as you get a little bit older, you start to realize, it's time for me to either just make a switch right now, or I'm just going to continue along this path that I'm not happy with. And so that is really what sparked my interest to go ahead and start my own business. I've always had that kind of entrepreneurial mindset. I've always wanted to have my own business, even since I was a teenager. So it was basically just one of those things, it's now or never.
Yeah, cool. So you're focusing right now on the design aspect. So what is your actual background in design, or did you have one? Or are you kind of self-taught? Or?
Yeah, I am self-taught. But how I specifically got into what I'm doing now is at my former job, we were responsible for creating annual reports for our top donors. And these are people who gave millions of dollars, just crazy amounts of money. And so our group was tasked with this responsibility. And then we learned InDesign. So I learned Adobe InDesign about 5 years ago or so. So yeah, I took a class at at the company that I was at, and then I ended up going on Lynda.com and basically learning the rest. And so in that sense, I am self-taught in that, I wasn't necessarily sitting in a class, in a design, class environment. It was online learning. And it was from that moment where I decided, wow, this is really what I want to do. This is amazing. If I were to do an actual 9 to 5, and at that point in time, I wasn't really thinking about my own business, but if I did do a 9 to 5 office job, this is the type of work I would love to do because it incorporates my creativity. It's structured, but at the same time, there's a lot of freedom, and it just kind of meets all of my requirements as far as the kind of work that I like to do.
Yeah, cool. So a lot of the people who watch and listen they're kind of stuck in that in between where they're working a full-time job and they kind of have a side hustle, and they're trying to, decide which way they want to go. So I'm curious, did you start taking clients and start freelancing while you were working full-time, or did you wait until after you quit your job to start your business?
I actually waited until after. So, I probably did everything they tell you not to do. I'm just like I said, it was just one of those moments where I realized it's now or never. So I made sure that I had enough money to last me a good amount of time. And I didn't actually start taking clients really until like late fall of 2015. So between the time that I actually ended my job and started actually freelancing, there was a lot of transition because I had worked for 10 years. So there was a lot of mind shift transitioning I had to do, just kind of like decompressing from where I was before and realizing, okay, I'm on my own now. Yeah, I didn't start until later. And that was when I really clarified and really made that decision. This is the direction I want to go in.
Yep. So you just went full force then.
I just went full force with it.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. It's interesting to hear because I mean, a lot of people right now, like I said, do it kind of as their side hustle. And I think they have a hard time deciding which route they want to go. So it's cool to meet somebody who actually just went all the way with it.
Well, I mean, I think too, like I was very unhappy where I was. So that's what kind of fueled my decision. But I feel like if you have a job where you're relatively satisfied with it, that's probably the best way to go about it is to have that steady income and then work on your side business on the side. But for me, I guess I'm just motivated by extremes. So I just kind of like just jumping in and doing it. And I figure, well, if this doesn't work out, I can always just go back to my situation.
I'd imagine that's kind of a big motivator too, because I mean, I have a full-time job. I have that security blanket kind of, so I don't really have to put 100% into my business if I don't feel like it. Right. But you know, if that's your gig, you kind of have to go for 100%. So
yeah, and I mean, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah,
like, I have no regrets.
Awesome.
Right in and learning along the way. It's been really an amazing experience this far.
Cool. So one of the reasons that I really wanted to talk to you was not only do you have awesome, I love your website. It's so beautiful and so well done. You're welcome. But I love that you also have some other kind of facets to your business. You have the e-course and you have a checklist or an audit kit. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you or why you decided to do those and kind of your process for developing those.
So the e-course is on InDesign, which is how I started getting interested in design anyway. That's kind of like the catalyst. And so it was just something I just wanted to do. Now, it's interestingly, that e-course is based off of an actual project that I did for the law school at the institution that I went to. And I thought it was a cool project, something that a lot of people could do, beginner InDesign users and intermediate InDesign users. And so that was really, it was no real deep thinking. It was just kind of like, I can do this and I can show people how to do this. And it's a very versatile project because we use it for like an annual report for the school, but it could be used for a lot of different, that particular project could be, for like a product catalog, fashion, lookbook. It can be just anything you want it to be, up to your imagination. So that's how I came up with that. And it was kind of like a test for me to see, can I do this? I didn't really plan on making any money from it. It was always planned to be a free course. And so far it's ended up actually working out well as a lead generator for me and list, which has been great.
Awesome. And you host that on Teachable, right?
I do host it on Teachable. And right now I'm in the midst of building a course website, which is something I started working on last fall, my own course website, because being who I am, I like to have control over everything. So I have my own platform. I think that's really important too when you're in business, just to like not be so reliant. If you can build your own, that's a great way to go because then you can control all the elements of it. So I'm actually building a course website right now, and I'm going to be migrating that course from Teachable onto my own course website.
Okay, very cool.
Month or so.
And I'll make sure to link your e-course down below as well. So if anyone's listening and wants to check it out, they can. Yeah, I have an e-course as well for social media. I host it on Thinkific, but I've been thinking the same thing. I really want to just build it into my website just so it's one-stop shop. People don't have to click around and, all that.
And then the other thing about it too is that, not only, of course you have to have some kind of payment gateway. So they're going to take a cut. And then if you host it on third-party platform like a Teachable or Thinkific, they're going to take a cut. I want to keep as much money as I can because it's my product. So, it's my platform, my rules, and then that way I don't have to worry about the other platform, if they change the rules on you,
Mm-hmm.
there's not much you can do other than either stay with it or leave and do something else.
Yeah, definitely. I think those websites are good for people who are just starting. Like I didn't know if I was going to want to create more or if it was going to be successful or what. So, I didn't want to spend a lot of time or money, getting a web designer to actually work it out for me on my own website.
Right.
But yeah, I think now that I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. I think I could do another one. I think moving it over to your own site is a really smart idea. So you have a website audit as well.
Yeah, actually that was a really good suggestion from a friend of mine. And we were brainstorming some different ideas too about list building. Because that's something I feel like every blogger, business person, that's one of the hurdles is like, okay, building this list so I can have my customer base.
Yep.
So he suggested, I want you to do a website audit. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I just tried it and I was like, this is really good because actually looking through the website audit, I'm like, oh, these are some things I really should be thinking about for my own website too. So it's just great. It's just a good checklist overall just to see, how your website is performing. And, so much of our business is based out of our websites. You really want to optimize it so that you get the most out of it and you're not turning people away. One of the things is, making the website, making it quick and making it fast. Like actually, and that's just that's like a server issue. That's like a, build out, development issue. But, if your website is slow or people can't figure where things are, they're going to leave, so
that's a really good point.
Yeah, you need to make sure that your website is optimized in all kinds of ways so that people stay on there longer and then you get the result that you want, whether it's sales or, them signing up for your email list or what have you,
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I think that's something that really builds the value in a job like yours, because that's something that the average person doesn't think about site time. They just want it to be pretty, Right. So it's helpful to have someone be like, hey, you actually need it to work well too.
Right. Yeah. It's not enough for it to just look good, but it needs to be functional.
Cool. So tell me about some of the tools that you use in your everyday business for managing your business.
Off the very top is Evernote. I love Evernote. Love. Can't say enough about it. I really do. And I use it for all of my different platforms of design stuff. I have a crafting website as well. I have like a lifestyle inspirational site. So like all my blog posts, I compose them all on Evernote.
Yeah, I just started using Evernote. I can't believe it because it's been around for so long. Yeah. But I have don't ask why, but I have 3 different computers. And so it's nice to have something that just follows me along everywhere and I can use it when I'm traveling and on my phone. So yeah, I love it.
Evernote is one. Of course, WordPress. I absolutely love WordPress for a website. Eventually I do want to look into some other platforms. I know Squarespace is very popular, so that's what I'll look into, especially from a design and development web perspective for clients. Asana. I think Asana is probably that's really big.
I love Asana.
Yeah, it's funny too with Asana because a friend introduced me to Asana, and at first I was like, what is this? I just didn't understand it, but once I started using it for my client work, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's really good. I mean, there's maybe 1 or 2 little drawbacks to it, but honestly, it's just overall, it's really, really, really helpful. I use it personally for myself, for my own personal projects, and then mainly for my client work.
Yeah, it's awesome. Do you use the free version or do you pay for a membership for that?
I was using the free version and I did upgrade to a paid plan only because if I have multiple clients, I want to make sure that they only have access to their.
Yep. Makes sense.
I realized that, of course, they're going to make you pay for it. So
yeah. The free version is so good, though. I get why you had to switch to it, but I mean, the free version for everyone watching, it's really good to get you started.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I recommend the free version. Yeah, absolutely.
Resources? Are there any learning resources that you use?
Yeah, Lynda.com. I love, and Lynda.com is one of those things. Like if you work at a university or higher education, institution, you probably can get it for free. Most universities have a plan. So for those people out there, if they work in higher ed and you're interested in increasing your skills, if you want to upgrade your skills, or if you're looking for another career path, Lynda.com is great, and a lot of universities have that free plan. So you can. That's how I learned InDesign, was through my company's Lynda.com plan.
Okay, cool. I think when I was in college too, I went to school for film, and I think that I got to use Lynda for free too.
Uh-huh.
So if you're a student, I think you can
Oh, yeah.
sometimes use it too.
That one and Udemy. I love Udemy.
Yeah. So what about in terms of just motivation for yourself, working for yourself? Do you have any advice for people who are just getting started with that, be it productivity or positive thinking or anything in between?
Yeah, well, you know, part of the path that led me to where I am right now was that I started doing affirmations. And some people might think it's kind of corny, but, and at one point in time, I thought, oh, that's kind of corny. No, it's kind of weird. But I realized that at some point, like, my mindset needed to change from what it was to where I wanted to be. And honestly, I would say, like, the cheapest, easiest way to get yourself motivated and to get your mind in that place of being productive, believing in yourself, and going after your dreams, is just to start with your self-talk. What are you telling yourself? What are you letting other people tell you? And then, but really most importantly, like, what are you talking to yourself? Because I don't think we don't realize like all of the recordings that go on in our mind just automatically without really ever auditing, what we are telling ourselves. And that's kind of what led me to write my book. So I wrote a book on affirmations, and basically the book was kind of like, for me, it was like, just kind of write down all these thoughts that I have, and just learning how to speak, life to myself, learning how to speak motivation. And that's probably like one of the best things that I can tell somebody. That's the easiest way anyway, I think, to get started. I mean, you can buy books, you can buy programs, you can do this, that, and the other, but it really just starts with you first. You have your own answers, and so I feel like once you start to tune into yourself and you see what it is that you need to change, then you have that foundation where you can go ahead and start making those changes.
So the book, you said that was more of just kind of a passion project for you, or what was your goal with writing that book?
It's a good question. Actually, before I had gotten into design, I thought that I was going to be doing Kindle publishing. So originally the book was to be like launch my Kindle publishing career. And I just wanted to do affirmations because that's what I was interested in at that moment in time. I was like, well, I can write a book about that. Well, what I realized with Kindle publishing is that there's a lot more involved with that. And most of the people who are successful, they don't write their own books. They hire out writers, and it's a whole other process. And then I realized like that's not really what I want to do, because I do consider myself a writer, and I don't want to pay somebody to write words for me, then put my name on it, or put a ghost, put a fake name on it. It just didn't seem genuine to me. So that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I kept on with the book anyway. And I wasn't sure if I was going to offer it as a free book or if I was going to charge for it. I do charge for it now, only because I feel like the information in there really is like good information. What I teach in my affirmations book is, you basically are just going within. So you're finding out, yourself better than anybody else. What are your blocks? What are the things that you have trouble with? What are the things that are troubling you? So you can take those very things and then turn them around.
Yeah, I think that's so important, especially for like entrepreneurs, because we hear so often, we can get a million compliments a day and know all these great things about ourselves, but it's the negative things that stick with us, right? And that make us doubt ourselves. And we're so often doubted for being entrepreneurs and for choosing this lifestyle. So that's awesome. I'll definitely have that link down below as well, so people can check it out. Cool. So last thing I want to ask you about is you also are into dance. So is that just a personal thing or a hobby, professional thing? How'd that happen?
Wow, I wish it was professional. I always loved dancing. I mean, dancing is, I would say, like, for most of my life, that kind of defined who I was for a very long time. So yeah, I started dancing when I was a kid, and I minored in dance in college. I didn't major in it. But I've been dancing all my life. So it's definitely, at this point in my life, it's something that I just enjoy. There are certain things that I love. I don't think I would want my livelihood to depend on dancing. I think other people have done that, and that's great. But it wasn't something I felt, maybe subconsciously, I never felt like that was something that I could achieve. So that could have been like another affirmation. I don't know. But it is something that I love. And so I am involved right now in dancing. I take classes. I'm involved in a dance project that's going on in the town near me.
I think it's good for people like us too to have a hobby that's just a hobby. Like I always have to remind people that like you don't have to monetize everything. You don't have to, add this to part of your business, because I think it's so healthy for you to have something that's just for you.
You need that escape,
Yeah.
And we put a price tag on it. It's not escape any longer. It's a job.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I feel like I learned a lot from you. Is there anything else that you feel like we should know or you want to share with everyone?
I don't know. Not right now. I guess we'll see. Maybe whatever comments you get, maybe I can answer people's comments once the video goes up.
Yeah, definitely. I'll pass any feedback along to you.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for hopping on a Sunday. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Cool. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thanks, Latasha.
Thank you.
So that's it for my interview with Krystal. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to give me a thumbs up if you did like it, and hit that big red subscribe button down below if you'd like to see more of these videos. Again, if you have any questions for Krystal, please leave them in the comment box. She'll be checking and I'll be passing anything along to her. We touched on a lot of really good things, but I'm sure that you guys have so many more questions for her. So feel free to leave those down below and check out all the links in the description box. The first ones in the description box will be to Krystal's website and her book and her e-course and all of that stuff. So show her some love, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.